Is the Portland School District spending your money the way they said they would? Voters passed a nearly $500 million bond that was supposed to fix leaking roofs, improve seismic safety, upgrade science labs, and also rebuild 4 schools. But they also decided to spend $10 million to expand 3 Portland high schools.
And that was never mentioned to voters. Since that decision 2 months ago, Chris Woodard has been following the money. He joins us tonight. Chris?
Yeah, once those concerns were raised, we decided to look at exactly where your tax dollars are being spent. So we took some time, combed through the records, and asked the tough questions for you.
Are you spending this money where you said you would?
A simple question, but one taxpayers deserve an answer to.
No question we are.
Just 1 year into spending the nearly $500 million taxpayers agreed to give them, we're digging deep into the Portland Public School District spending.
You can still see the stains that have put onto the brick.
When they wanted voters to approve an increase to their own property taxes,
these are the tiles that fell from the ceiling.
The district was quick to point out the problems.
Water that would just come through the roof.
Wilson High School, one of the worst.
We would call them the waterfalls.
They got their money, $482 million. But there are already questions about how they're spending it. Questions we pushed the district on after requesting and combing through pages of information about the budget. So now back to that answer.
Are you spending this money where you said you would?
No question we are. The work, the bond anticipated the 4 modernizations and then the summer improvement work.
But we didn't just let it go with that answer, because along with those remodels of 4 schools that were sold to voters, there will now also be expansions to the tune of an additional $10 million. The district says they can do it all and still be under budget. But we didn't just take their word for it. We pressed the Citizens Accountability Board, who are watchdogging the spending.
At this point, we're comfortable that the budget numbers are generally consistent with what was proposed in the bond measure.
However, in our review of the $59.5 million already spent, we found so far, not much. Only $555,000 has been spent on those 4 remodel and rebuild projects.
How come you haven't spent money on those specific schools yet?
The modernizations, which you're talking about, and the replacement of Fabian, those are projects that are bigger in reach and bigger in scope, and it's a longer timeline on those.
In other words, those school projects are still in the planning stages. In actual construction, we found the biggest chunk of change already spent was just over $11 million last summer on seismic upgrades, leaking roofs, science labs, and disability improvements at 6 schools.
No more calls about water running down stairways,
including Wilson.
The great value to me is how it values the students.
In this classroom for disabled students, they lowered the sink.
The young man here in the wheelchair can never even get over there. His hands are up like this.
Added new lights.
Some of the students, based upon their disabilities, are very light sensitive.
And put in a wheelchair access ramp. That summer work, phase 1 of these plans, actually came in about $1 million under budget. In fact, right now the district is projecting the whole $482 million plan will be done under budget. But when we looked into it, the Citizens Accountability Board told us that that doesn't mean a whole lot at this point.
When they project what's going to be spent, they're not projecting they're going to spend contingency. The odds are that they will spend some or most of it.
We pushed the committee chair on how they will continue to look out for your tax dollars.
There's no one on this committee that wants to do this just for window dressing. You know, if we see something that is a cause for concern, absolutely, we'll raise the red flag.
So far, budget-wise, those numbers are lining up. But the biggest concern the Bond Accountability Committee has is scheduling. They say the master planning of Franklin and Roosevelt took longer than had been planned. It's also important to remember here that this spending that we just talked about is only the beginning. Only 12% of the total bond money has been spent so far. You can count on us to stay on this story and watch where your money is being spent, because in fact we've learned that on Monday the school district will announce 12 schools that will be under construction this summer. Back to you.